to be in the first place in the first round and push to be in the top in the runoff. So tag, because it's a close election, I'm not just blowing smoke on it. You guys are the reason I'm in office. So thank you very, very much. Okay? All right, here's your second kudo. It says for Prop 1 for clean water. All activism is important, but the most important thing that you do or anybody does is you get involved in elections. And here's another one. Okay, you get involved in elections. Now, of course, there's an upside, there's a downside. If we lose this one, it's another strike against us, but are we going to give up? No. Okay, we never give up. Remember how many battles were lost by the Americans in the Revolutionary War? They lost, and they lost, and they lost, and they lost, and they won everything. Same thing's going to happen with tag, okay? So you have to keep at it, keep fighting, keep battling. All right. Next thing, attention Travis County taxpayers. It says go vote. Check this out. Now, this is really something really interesting I feel coming up. And we've talked about the TNCs a little bit, but again, the same principle applies. We got to vote. Okay, how many people remember who started the concept of the money bomb? Who started that? Money bomb. Ron Paul. Remember Ron Paul? It was Trevor Trevor Lyman started the money bomb. Everybody was blown out of the water and they went, wow, what the heck's going on? Now everybody does it. What do you guys think about a vote bomb? How about a vote bomb? I mean, imagine the impact of a vote bomb. I've got in front of me right here, these are the current vote turnout. This is abysmal as expected, but there's an opportunity here. I'm looking at the vote totals. We've got 1,500, 1,500, 1,700, 1,600. Get the picture here? The voting patterns have been established. We're now in the second week of early voting. We've had about 1,500 votes per day. 1,500 in a county of like 1 million people.
Don, what are they voting over?
These are the constitutional amendments. And also in Travis County, you have this downtown courthouse. Okay? Imagine what would happen if thousands of TNC supporters showed up and voted. What would happen if the vote total went to 3,000 or 5,000 people on one day? Okay. Transportation network companies, Uber and Lyft. There's a little introduction here about what's going on with the regulation. I think everybody knows that you guys are pretty well plugged in. The regulations are outrageous. Nobody asked for the TNCs like Uber and Lyft to have these additional stupid regulations like the 10 fingerprints, the additional fees, trying to make them look like taxi companies. Nobody asked for that. The people pushing that are the bureaucrats of the Austin Traffic Department and also some of the union people at the taxi franchises. Taxi franchises are worried about Uber and Lyft, encroaching on their business. And actually, they're really not encroaching, they're expanding the market. Rideshare is expanding the market. It's not really taking away from what the taxis are doing, it's expanding the market. It's an important thing to realize. But the taxis are pretty upset because they know they can't compete with the TNC rideshare. That's part of the motivation for regulation. But the point is, nobody wants it. The drivers and the riders love Uber and Lyft the way it is. They don't want any additional regulations. All right, we know that. So I want to ask you, this is TAG, you're some of the best activists in this city, to think about pushing a vote bomb and having all these people like yourself and thousands of others that support the TNCs all show up on one day, and that would be this Thursday, and vote in large numbers and have thousands of people voting in addition to the regular abysmal turnout. You talk about something that sends a message to the other council members, because I can tell you right now, we've had 10,000, 15,000 emails to those other council members. They're not going to change their mind. You know what would change their mind? A vote bomb. 3,000, 5,000 people show up, that's going to get their attention. Well, that's all I got, unless you got some questions. I'm just asking you to give me feedback on the idea. But
council members who make this go forward.
Well, we had, it was in the mobility committee. The person that's pushing it is Ann Kitchen. She really is championing the idea. She's pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. She came over to my office on a Saturday a couple of weeks ago. We had a good heart-to-heart conversation for about an hour on this TNC regulation. Just me and Ann Kitchen. And she just kept saying, but there's this, she says, but there's this fairness issue. The TNCs have to be regulated the same as the taxis to be fair. And I said, no, you can be fair by releasing the requirements on the taxis. Let them compete in the market. So she's mainly pushing it. Sherry Gallo is on the committee, and also Delia Garza. So those are the three people that voted for it. Any other question quickly?
Drop the regulation as far as even it out, collect only, just forget the cap for group taxi. Collect only what the state allows, maybe a 2% sales tax on it for anybody doing it. And let the business models go head in the most progressive, the most online-oriented city in the central United States.
It's a great idea. So the idea is to get rid of the existing structure with taxi. One of the things I floated was mileage fee. Let's look at the number of miles driven if there's going to be a fee. And actually the Uber and Lyft, the TNCs did agree to, some kind of fee and testimony, and that kind of set us all off. Oh yeah, we don't mind being charged a fee. And I just went, anyway, they said that. So make it a mileage fee, and taxis drive mileage, TNCs drive mileage, and then apply the same mileage fee to everybody, and make sure that money goes back into improving roads. Would that make sense? You drive on the roads, you pay a fee, you improve the roads. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if Boston can handle it. Anything else?
Uber has to give up their data also.
Well, it would be gross.
Let's not talk
about gross miles driven, but that's a policy question.
We don't want to talk about compromises in this room. We're here to shine a beacon of liberty and let them figure out how they can get as close to us as possible.
That's a good point. Okay, one more question?
So it sounds like you want the vote bomb to be on Thursday. What will you be doing to promote it so that we can make sure everybody knows? Because most people actually don't even know it's time to vote.
You're right about that, but what we're after, remember, we only have to get a few thousand votes to make a dramatic difference. If we double the vote turnout from 1,500 to 3,000, we make a statement. So we just actually came up with this today. We've been struggling with something that the people can do because the 10,000 emails has had no effect. I can just tell you that. It's had no effect. Our emails have been flooded with TNC supporters, and I don't think my colleagues really care because it's too easy to get a robot, right, to keep sending out those messages. So it's hard to tell how many of these email floods are real and how many are robots. But a vote bomb would do that. It would send a message.
And I can be totally ignorant on this issue. I thought this was something that the city council was considering. So, Bill, there's something that we can vote for? I thought it was to keep the city council.
Okay, so you're right. I've made a jump or a leap here, and Justin is right. There's nothing to vote on regarding TNCs. There are constitutional amendments, and there's this ridiculous tax increase for the downtown courthouse. And that doesn't have anything to do with TNCs. That's true. So what we would do is, using social media and using the power of grassroots activism, we connect those dots. And we say, look, everybody that supports the TNC, please go out in big numbers on the vote bomb. Cast a vote for whatever you want. Just show up and vote. And if we do that and everybody does press releases, everybody joins in, kind of like Ron Paul's money bomb, right? You spread the word in grassroots fashion, social media. We have in our possession about 10,000 emails for TNC people. So we have some connections too. If everybody jumped on board, we do a press release on it. And I need some advice from you on whether to do it, because if we call it, we haven't done it yet.
Where would they pass this piece of paper?
You show up in Travis County and you just vote anywhere you have an early voting location. I know you've been driving around town. You see it says vote here. How about at Breaker and 183? That's an early voting location. Show up and vote.
Voting turnout would send a message about how we're against what's happening.
That's right. The TNC people have voting power.
Okay.
If there's a big boost in the turnout, and it's because the TNCs and the TAG and all of our grassroots activists, we say we're all going to show up on one day and we're going to vote bomb. And that's going to show the voting power. And look, these council members, right, that are in Austin, most of these races were decided by tens of votes, maybe a few hundred votes. Sherry Gallo, remember Councilmember Gallo's margin of victory was at 1,500 votes, 1,200? It wasn't that many votes. So if you show that big boost of voting power on the vote bomb day, that's going to send a message to council, and it just might switch their minds because they'll be afraid of getting unelected when they come up. All right? One more, yeah.
Who's closest to us on the council?
So the question is, I would say Ellen Troxclair is definitely going to vote against these regulations. But after Troxclair, I don't know. So, I don't know. But Ellen Troxclair, we vote together quite a bit, but after that, I don't know.
She didn't vote with you though on the floor, I think, where it was important.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. Okay. But no, I think she would. On the TNCs, I think she'll vote for it. Okay, thank you guys.